Okay, here we go. How's everybody doing? Shalom Aleichem. Salam Alaikum. Peace be upon you. So, today is going to be a little different. You're going to see the fourth wall exposed, fourth dimension, through music. And that thought just came to me right now. So, basically, I called this episode Perception because perception isn't just what you see. It's what you hear and what you feel and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it was interesting. This mic was closer earlier. All right, there we go. I think that'll work. But I'm just going to go over certain etymologies because I forgot to mention on the last stream. I forgot to mention certain aspects about Operation Warp Speed. You can literally make up anything you want. So the fact that David invented the best kind of instruments, that he refined what was there, because he made vowel notation. So I forgot which Greek idol is supposed to be the one that invented music, and he stole somebody's herd by playing music. And it's supposed to be David, a deified version of David, because all these things came after David existed and Samson existed. Hercules is supposed to be Samson. And instead of just telling the story, they're like, no, it was us. Because they have the us versus them. They have the us versus them mentality. So that means they don't like another people telling them what reality is. They think they figured it out. And they think that that the other side is trying to trick them. My fingers can't stretch quite like they used to. But I have to practice more. So, perception is literally he, mouth, he and Let me see. What did I write here? I forget what I wrote in my own description. I don't even have notes or anything. That's pretty cool. What was I gonna say? So Pez mouth, and is to expose. Now I'm remembering, and then ship is like dividing two things from each other and leaving the bad out and only keeping the good. And then Sihon is literally Zion, and it comes from NASA, and I'm going to go over that in more depth. So, isn't it weird that NASA is where Zion comes from? Pretty crazy. Don't want to play a copywritten song too long. Oh man, that's a good song though, Schism. And people try to correct me and say schism, and I'm like, no, I'm not an Ephraimite, and they don't know what I'm talking about. Oh man, music. See, I think right when I started getting like started picturing this dimensional stuff, I started playing better because I've always kind of done music by myself without self-taught. But there's something about understanding reality that helps you understand other things better. It literally helps you invent them because Shem had a son named Aram, and I ain't gonna play that. Anyway, Aram meant exalted, and or like highly exalted, like to be lifted up very high. And exalted meaning masses, so it's actually expansion. It's not ascension when you're exalted by the Most High, at least. And so the Most High isn't even just the Most High; he's the most expansive. So because the Most High is infodimensional, he encompasses what we're in and just infinitely in all directions. So we are floating in infinite space, in a globe. That's so funny. We are a globe in infinite space. But whether the globe is spinning or not, I don't know. I say the stars are moving through the firmament. Um, so music flows naturally after I've been picturing these things, and I want to show the pictures, but I just want to show that I've drawn them. These aren't other people's drawings. What's going on? Okay, so I have like different stuff. It'll show it backwards. That's how you know it's real and it's not CGI. But I basically have C, God is pure will, L, and so he creates the word. Everything that comes out of him is a creation. Uh, and so the word itself is a creation, and everything flows through the word and it's fifth dimensional, encompassing the fourth, third, second, and first dimension. And then let me see. I drew this recently. I drew like the creation days. I drew a map of like what the possible rivers are in Eden, like how they looked. And so if you guys remember the dimensional picture I showed when it based on perception, figure 1, if you were paying attention, I have drawn an updated version that is much more psychedelic. And no, I did not take DMT. Here we go. Just to show that it's drawn by me. And I have it. I took a picture with my phone so that you guys can see it right. But I might play for longer. I don't know. I might start off each one playing for like 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. Because I gotta stop at like an hour or an hour and 10 minutes and start a new one. And I call it part 1 because I just had a feeling that it was going to be more than there's going to be more than one part. So what am I doing here? Where's figure 1? So here, here it is. Trip on this. So this is the person here. This is supposed to be. It's over here. So just to explain how this is updated, and maybe I should show the old version just in case somebody is watching this who hasn't seen past episodes. And see how all those little marks, those purple circles, those are points of contact because the fifth dimension encompasses everything. And this is trying to do this on literally it's literally second two-dimensional. It's hard to depict these things. So you have to imagine this. So how you're looking, this is your perception. These are perception lines. So when you're looking out, you're looking at what the Bible, what the Scripture calls inner man. That's Messiah in everybody, because in the beginning was Messiah, which is the Word, and he was an Elohim, meaning he was a heavenly being. He was the first heavenly being because he was the first thing created. He's the Word, and everything flowed through him, so that God can be in all and through all, yet separate, because holy means set apart. So he's the most holy, then he's the most set apart from anything. And that's why if we saw him, he said we would die, because we can't handle it. So there's always some form of a mediator, either the Word itself, because you don't see God. If you get a word from God, you don't see him. If somebody says they saw God, I'm probably not going to believe them. But if they said that they got some kind of vision of something and it makes sense, especially if it goes by this pattern, then I'll probably believe them, because this pattern repeats in nature. And I might do some episodes where I get into some biology that might be for only mature ears, but explaining what procreation actually is, because it's pretty insane. It's literally drawing from the first and second dimensions into the third with the help of the infodimensional Elyon and the fifth dimensional Word, or Messiah, because Messiah is the Word incarnate. So he's always been that hierarchy. He was just revealed in his time. So there's some of these lines it's hard to see. Let me zoom in here a lot. So you can see how the purple, which is fifth dimension, is intertwined here. And I put red as the mouth, because it says in Scripture, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And that comes from your inner core, your heart. But your soul is second dimensional. It's the voice just below the third dimension. So when the Most High told Cain that his brother's blood was crying to him from the ground, that's the second dimension. So your blood carries this. It carries your life on it. It's first dimension. It carries your memories and your thoughts, and possibly your ancestors' memories, because that's what genetics are supposed to be, but it doesn't have to be as physical as they claim. The third dimension, you can see it's intertwined with everything, with little contact points with the fifth here. And it's just above the second and just below the fourth here. And I have a flat, well, I'm not going to say it. I have a artist rendering of something that I'm going to show next. And I want to say certain trigger words. And see how the purple is going in every point in the body? And how the red is right in the heart and the soul is around it. And your soul is how you connect with the second dimension. But there's good and bad. You can have what's called the Great Cloud of Witnesses scripturally, where literally what your actions are a reflection of your actions are a reflection of your ancestors, and what you're doing is not just for your descendants but for your ancestors. I misplaced this picture here. There we go. Keep it on the edge. So all this, there's no notes here. Some of this, that's why it speaks in Scripture of the teacher teaching himself. because I'm doing this as I'm going. So I'm drawing these things and then speaking about them, and believe it or not, teaching myself. It feels very strange. Because it's not me. That's why you're supposed to give all glory to the Most High. So you see how this dark blue here is going through the what it would be the fourth dimension. Because let me, oops, keep this in mind. Keep making mistakes here. I haven't used this stuff in a long time, and this is only what, my fourth or fifth stream now. Here we go. So this is the color scheme. Try to remember this as I go. Red first, second gold, third green, fourth cayenne, or however you say it. It's blue, sky blue, and 5 is purple. So what was I saying? Oh, so the fourth dimension here, these lines represent the priesthood, because it pierces the fourth and touches the fifth, touches the infinite dimensional through the fifth, whether realizing it or not. Because that's why he said, nobody gets to the Father through me, which is the Word. You can find the Most High Elohim through these word roots, and then find the Bible and read it in the Hebrew and read it in the Greek, and you can understand all these things. And that's a priesthood, and it's on your shoulders, your shoulder points. Your shoulders are literally like points, geometric points. And that's why it says in Scripture that the government of Elohim is on the shoulders of Messiah. That's why the lesser forms of him, meaning the kings of Israel, the priests, and the prophets, the government was on their shoulders, but in 3 different functions. Now, through Messiah, it's all in one function. And if we are, as Scripture says, clothed with Messiah, meaning we understand the word in Scripture. So we can be Christians for a long, long time and still not be fully clothed. Maybe we got like a nice scarf or something like that. I want the whole robe. I want the whole shebang. And I bet you shebang, I hope that means something good if I Hebraized it. If not, then, Lord forgive me. And I hate this mouse. I think I need to get some new batteries for it before the next couple days, because it's glitching and it's annoying. But anyway, then see the crown here of your head is what is going up through everything, literally to the Most High. Okay, let me see. This is hard to control with this mouse, so I apologize. Let me make it a little bit smaller here. So this pattern here, while I was drawing it, I actually will be a bit transparent here. I sort of wept a bit, because when I sketched it out, it was kind of like if you ever wrote a poem and you feel like that something else had a hand in writing that poem. Kind of the same thing here when I drew this. You see these, let me see which hand I use. You see these 2 things right here on each side. To me, it looked like a flower, because the middle was literally green. It's when I had it sketched and I knew the middle was going to be green, and it was before I actually put a body in there. This is why it's all about perception, because my perception was being lengthened by submitting and finding a church to go to. Even though there can be weird people at churches, if you try to go to different ones and just meet people, there's a spiritual thing that happens, and it helps you, whether you have a good experience or not. And I happen to have a good one, because it's a very small church and it's literally in a barn with goats and all. So that helped me connect a little bit to the church body, because it's a spiritual genetic thing. That's the power of the church, and they don't want them to know that. That's why they're like, oh, don't go to the churches because they're government run. It's like, yeah, but they're gonna have people there, regular people. It doesn't matter if there's CIA agents there or whatever you think is there or whatever is there. It doesn't matter. Even CIA agents and feds are people, and you could talk to them and learn things, and they can like you. See, this is the thing. They want you to be afraid of feds. It's like, I want to be friends. I want as many feds to like me as possible. Wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, that's why you're supposed to pray for government officials and pray for your country, because you don't want it to fall. You just want the evil to realize they're bad. But anyway, let me not go over all that. So it not only looks like a flower, specifically an orchid, but you could see it looks like certain human anatomy for procreation. Like certain designs in it. Because, I mean, flowers have for a long time been... I don't have to go over it. You can see the lines are kind of like gem cuts, geometric shapes. You have a spider web at the bottom. You got crystallization at the top. You literally, the design of all creation came through what I was seeing in this, and it was the most beautiful thing I ever saw when I sketched it in gray and white. It was overwhelming to me in gray and white, and then this is what came out of it. It was pretty amazing feeling, and I knew it was real, and so this is what Scripture is talking about. What did I just do? I messed something up. My computer is acting kind of dumb, so I just closed it. I thought it just ended the stream. Okay. This is mouse. Let me try to get this bigger. So this is what... I might have to get the mouse that plugs in when I go to the second hour. Because this mouse is really irritating me. Might mean I have to take it slow. But, you know, even stuff that God sends you can really frustrate you. That's the purpose of it. He wants you to get frustrated so that something happens. He's somebody who gains opportunities. Is this working? Something happened with YouTube here. Oh, never mind. See, YouTube's acting weird. It paused it, so I thought the stream wasn't going. Let me turn the chat on. Okay. Nobody's really talking in the chat, but where's this picture right here? So when Scripture says the second man, your first man is supposed to die to sin. You're supposed to die to sin, and your first man, meaning your third dimension, is supposed to be considered dead in Christian theology. So you're only relying on what? Your perception, and that's faith, because your perception is this third man. All right, thank you. The chat is working. Everything's working fine. It's just things are glitching here. So when you're looking out, this is your actual perception. Imagine the blue part has mountains and valleys. The green part is the horizon, and the gridded part here is the land. What you're looking at reflects yourself, because you are a perfect creation. That's why you're the image and likeness of Elohim. You're a perfect reflection. So for whatever reason, a reflection of an infinite dimensional being is fifth dimensional. And I say that your 5 fingers are a clue to that. But I may be wrong, but if you've watched my other videos, it doesn't seem like a coincidence. It seems like these things are right and that they're patterned in nature. So it looks like butterflies. This looks like the butt of a wasp or a dragonfly or something, and then the wings come out. Even these spiderweb looking things, plus these and these actually these crystallized looking things on the blue part look like dragonfly wings. So it's really trippy how I pictured this because it's supposed to be your perception in front of you, but it's your inner self, which is also your outer self because you're a multidimensional being. You're destined to function fifth dimensionally, but you're only functioning, you're only kind of touching. See that's why it's represented by the top, the very top of your head. Let me show the second one here. And I'm going to go over some words. So this is supposed to be the same perception thing, except this is a artist rendering. I'm going to say what NASA says about their stuff. This is a composite photo made by my hand, an artist rendering of a certain perception of a certain realm. And that's how I'm going to word it here. Here's the different layers of atmosphere. There's the depths. Here's Sheol. Sheol has a mouth. I mentioned this on the past streams. I bet you know what? I'm going to put a filter on this and put it over my face. Or you can just see, look, it looks like a face. It looks like it has a mouth. Where's my hand at right here? It looks like right here it's got a mouth and a beard. And the nose, that's the air and the atmosphere. And your eyes, the sun and the moon. And the crown, basically your eyes, perception, and your crown are connected to the fourth and fifth dimension. And so that's why I depicted here. And so this is three-dimensional, remember? So this purple part here and these two dark blue lines, it's a cone shape. So this is three-dimensional, it's cone, and it's making a torus field, what they call a torus field. And Ta is a mark or a signature or a border. And Rosh is head or chief. It can also mean poor. So it's like strong and poor. The strong weak force science talks about. Here you go. The strong weak force, or strong electromagnetic weak force, whatever the heck they call it. But I just figured it out for them. So yeah, they're welcome. Let's see. I'm laughing because I'm blowing myself away at the same time. Because I'm looking at it, and so that's why I like going live with it. I don't like trying to make a video and then post it later. I like doing it live because then I can post it anywhere. And it still has the energy of being live. So what was I saying here? Oh, I was going to pull up the torus field. Nope, this one. Nope, that's Umbrella Corporation. Come on. Yeah, there you go, baby. So let me widen this. Let me put these next to each other. This is a really good mic. Getting good microphones is very important to me. Okay. So if you see this, if you don't mind, I'm going to take about 20 seconds to put a filter on this torus field. So torus literally means a border or mark of the strong pore force that was at the beginning, the head, the first. So it's really talking about Masai. Masai is the first. He's the outer layer of this, the fifth dimension. And there's literally 5 dimensions in this torus field that I'm showing. See, chroma key, I think, is the filter I put in. And then I put down the occupancy. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Now let me make this smaller here. So you see how this is cone shaped. Hopefully this is overlapping how I like. Nope. Let me... Oh, now you can't even see the torus field. Well, you can kind of see it. See it when I'm moving it? Now look at it. You know what I mean. I don't have to do this too long. Let me put this thing back up in case I pull this up later. Oh, no, that's contrast. See, there we go. All right. So that's basically what you're seeing, because it's hard to put it two-dimensionally here. So I was gonna go over. Let me go over this first, since I'm kind of lost at the moment. I got like 20 or 30 minutes. No, I got like 30 minutes to show this. That's enough time, and then I'll probably do a part 2, and I think there'll only be 2 parts. I don't think it'll take that long. I'll play music for like 10 minutes when I come in the second time, and that'll be cool. No, that's... Here we go. Project Warp Speed, which in numerology... Actually, let me put it in right now so I get it right. I got the calculator. It's operation. I always forget. Did I spell it right? Warp speed. Maybe it's just the warp speed. Yeah, there you go. So warp speed, which is the actual Hebrew that I'm gonna Hebrew. That's the only part I Hebraize, not operation. That's self-explanatory. It's an operation. Let me not put this up too long while I'm talking. I don't know how the AI does its whatever. So warp speed, when you look at it on the calculator, I don't know if I can show it. I bet I can. Display capture. Let's try this. Oh, it didn't pop up, did it? Oops. There's all this stuff here. Oh, you know what? Well, you can see right here. It's just really crappy how I did this. Just discard this. I gotta delete this. This is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. But anyway, it's 11, 44, and 33. 44 Death Star, 33 is the Capstone Illuminati, 11 is supposed to be a master number like angels, an angel number, and that's a fourth dimensional being. And so when we Hebraize warp speed, it gets weirder. I don't know if you guys saw the numbers, but that was a really horrible screen capture. I'm not sure how to get just the little square to pop up here. Could screen grab it, but you know. All right, so warp speed. Let me pull up the internet here. The internet. Oh, and I'm also going to go over mRNA. It's Smyrna and Mer. But I'm not going to do that right now. Where is this? So it's literally what or what where pe. So warp. I can literally Hebraize it with these letters, and it says the whole thing that the operation does, and then sp and d. Speed. Spud. What's this one? Oh, this is NASA. I'm gonna go over NASA. Why did I have this one up here? This is why I'm supposed to write things down on my notes. Can you guys hear the What are those things, the cicadas? I think I can hear them in my headphones. It's funny. All right, so let's break this down. Maybe I can even do this. Ooh, that's nice. And if I can screen capture that and put it on the screen, this will be even better. But I will say that this website, I don't agree with everything it says because it believes in evolution and a bunch of weird stuff, and because it gives you all the language, so it tries to put more propaganda in there. So I won't read what I feel is propaganda or what I feel isn't important enough, but I'm going to put it in display capture so that you can see everything. Windows, it's automatic, not primary monitor. Oh, I think it's window capture or something. I'm doing it wrong. I'm sorry. Hate it when it does this. Let's see. Display, or is it window capture? Well, there we go. Window capture. Here we go. Yes, I can put that in here. Like this. I could put it behind my camera here. There we go. Let me hide this thing. Why is this still up here? There we go. Now all that's left up there is Okay. Oh, this is beautiful. This is working nice. Let me put my chat right here on the side so I can still read it. This is perfect. All right, 4 separate routes so that you can see the proof that it's this WH warp. All right, blah, blah, blah. So to betake oneself, a place for dwelling. To be inclined, it has to do with desire. So it has to do with to wish or to covet. It's negative. It's describing certain aspects of the happening that happened between 2019 and really now, but cooled down 2022, 2023. Emotions could be either good or bad. It's used in a bunch of ways here. Just make a sign or a mark. And there's a lot of talk about this having to do with the mark. And it actually does. Let's see. Because the picture that I showed of it, it has their Kabbalah cube on it. And all kinds of weird different markings. Let's see. It's a crying sound, howling. And you can read some of this by pausing it later. Oh, evergreen. What does it say? Oh, never mind. Let's see. I think that's it for that. Wait. It has to do with a jackal. Coast region, so it's coastal too. It has to do with being coastal. And like 90% of the population lives on the coasts, coast cities, mega cities. I think that's it for this one. Yeah. And the next one, here's the middle part, which is, so now it's were. So now they can just do this one by itself too. You can add the other one, so coastal, because it has to do with it. They scan the coast. If you looked up extensively like I did, Project Warp Speed, you know what they covered, what maps they use, what kind of information that they are desiring when they do this. So year, I went through this on another episode where year, what is it? Has to do with a city, and I was saying it takes about a city a year to develop a city because you have to plant for a whole harvest and then have food enough and then build things. So a year, you can establish a city in a year with like tents and, or nowadays you can even just put tiny homes within a year. But it's agriculturally. You can see that the focus is agriculture. Um, so you can see all the different pronunciations. So w and r and pe. So werp, or you can just do the wr. Let's see. So it means a city, and of course, most people who are going to take what the project is giving out are going to be in cities. And I went over this in another episode too, so you can watch the other ones and know everything about a city. And go to the Telegram. Let me put the Telegram link right now. And I'm going to post all these links in there after. And if I don't remember, somebody remind me. But I should remember. Let me share the link here. Copy link. I'm sharing it in the chat. And then the live chat will be there for anybody who's went this far in, 42 minutes in. I'm going to post all these, but I'm not going to go over all of it. See, you have words that mean, where is it at here? To make blind. Okay, let's see. It has to do with Iwar and on. To rouse oneself. All these things happen during the pan, you know what. Pe. Ne. I could hebatize everything. Arouse or awake. Excitement, but it's actually terrors because you have terrors in the city. Exposed, laid bare. Remember, you can go in past episodes or after this. I'm going to try to post all these in here so you can read all these yourself. Has to do with your skin. Think about this. Oh, I remember it said 44 times it's the skin of an animal in scripture, and 55 times it's the skin of a human. 44 is death's door, and 55 is what is it? Strictly business. And wasn't that one the warp speed was 44, wasn't it? I want to type that again. It'll only take 2 seconds. Let me see. I don't have a good memory here. Yeah, it was 44, and that's the skin of an. That's how many times this part of the Hebrew, when you Hebraize it, is used in the Bible. 44 times for animals, 55 was his death's door, and 55 times for a human. Strictly business. So the animals had to die in order for the experiments to happen, and you can go look this stuff in the patents. And the patents for these things, for what they put into you, you can look at the patent of how it made it, and the animals have to be killed. And strictly business for the human skin. You can't make this stuff up. Or to be naked. During the whole happening, I remember a lot of stories coming out of people like randomly being naked in public, whether they're on drugs or whatever. It's like that manifested more in the news of people just being naked in public. Bare place. It all describes stuff of a city. Let's see here. And it talks about a refuge as a city. Being stripped, childless, stripped, destitute, poor. All these things have to. Anyway, can't make this up. And here's the end of it, pet, which is mouth. And to cleave, because what do you do with your mouth? You when you eat, you cleave with your mouth. So it means cleft. So it can even mean like to bite, and like a bite of a snake, and the snake's tooth looks like. something was created based off what a snake's fang looks like. It's called the hypodermic needle. So it's basically a mouth here. Extremity. Cleave or break apart. It's used when just after the mention of a sword, Yahweh claims, "I will chop them to pieces." Wow, with his mouth, with word, because he's pure will, so he doesn't have to do anything. That's why he created the word, and he does everything through the word, because he doesn't have to do anything. That's the highest form of power, is not having to do anything. Just everything is pure will. We don't have that. We have to work in this body, and we have to work it out to make it. We have to work more to make it easier, and that's the harder you work, the easier it gets on your body. Let's see here. And you can either pause this or get the links afterwards. So that is warp. Warp. And to warp something is, what do these have in here? Like to strip with your mouth. What's this one again? To take the coasts and strip with your mouth, to warp something, is literally like the shape of coasts. There's all kinds of things you can connect it to know that these words are actually the more, because Adam named everything, right? Adam named all the animals. So Adam has a root language. If all these words, when you Hebraize anything, it describes what the thing does or aspects about it, that means these words describe everything, no matter what they are, what language. That would mean that this is Adam's language. I don't know how else to say it. So what's this part? Okay. So speed is like dividing two continuums, one being bad or the lesser and one being the greater. What happens when you're running and you're gaining speed? Something that's chasing you or anything behind you becomes the lesser. You are the greater pushing forward. And this D part here, what is this? To pass on or pass by. Something with speed passes on or passes by. To advance. So you already know that this is speed. There's no denying it. There's no way possibly to deny that this is speed. Oh, I don't think you saw the label. Not product placement unless you already buy the product. Okay. Isn't this crazy? Like, this is the word speed, is these two Hebrew roots. And there's no denying it. Okay, let's see. Put in a different continuum. And this will, they know, this is what they're trying to manifest. If they're Kabbalists, Kabbalah is based off of Hebrew. So they're trying to manifest something. So you can say this is what they're trying to manifest, because it literally has this is a Kabbalah cube. I can't even explain all of it. There's 4 stars on one side and 4 on the other. 44 death's door. Kabbalah cube is eternity. They're sending you to your maker, homie. Do you understand? This is not... People can deny if they want. Like, I don't understand how it blows my mind. So let's see if I can get through speed before the hour's done, and I can do everything on the second one. Probably at 3:30. 33. What? Yeah, I'm totally gonna do it at 3:30. I'm gonna do the second one at 3:30. Okay, I'm having fun. All right, so I'm gonna post these so you can. We're high energy physics, and okay, dude, you guys gotta read this later. But I'm gonna pick out the ones that I think are most important. Sap meaning bowl or goblet. Let me I muted it so I can burp. Let's see. Wow, it's talking about it's used in the words about the Passover lamb being sacrificed. Let's see, a divider between the house, greater outside world, lesser. It stay home, stay safe. Um, it's like an event horizon, which is a black hole, which is a dead star, and they're like, oh, we can hear from the dead. I don't want to. Those with ears to hear because I can't explain it all. I'm only one person. I'm only one mouth. I need more people to read these things and help me out. Sup means to come to an end. The hairs on your arm will stand up, and the terror of each sip and of each sup. Will you partake of that last offered cup, or disappear into the potter's ground when the man comes around? Listen to that song. It's a very important song. Supper is usually at the end of the day. Sop meaning end. Supper is a storm wind. Let's see. That makes an end. Something that makes an end. This is what they want to manifest. What happens when you're running? It's like you running and winning a race. All kinds of aspects are in speed here. There's the word speed, but they want to manifest something. And they prove their Kabbalists by making this their symbol. All right? It's got a globe within a tesseract. Hey. Accumulation of knowledge is the accumulation of sorrow. Solomon was right. Not Solomon, though. The Koheleth. Kof, top, Heleth. I want to start speaking Hebrew at some point, reading this stuff so much. Let's see here. Reeds of Egypt. The borders of Egypt. It has to do with the borders of Egypt. They're trying to establish the borders of Egypt, by the way. That's what the world government is. Because Messiah has a world government too. So world government isn't bad. But Sapa means to sweep or to snatch away. There was this guy who looked like Santa Claus. Called himself an apostle. His name was actual Sapa. He comes and sweeps away, snatches away. It's weird. Sweeping out of the door of the house of man out into the, what's it bringing into? Sweeping him out into the outer darkness. Let's see. Fit right or general pattern. He was nice to me though. Just I'm not saying he was a bad person because I don't know him, but these people they have a lot of money and they know a lot of people and they claim to know etymology, but they're not telling you this. It's like, come on, bro. It means to sweep, like sweep a nation. The whole plan of Operation Warp Speed. Fire. So you can read this. Skimming the milk off the top. Oh, wow. Or the cream off the top of the milk. And they might have, if you look at interviews and stuff, they'll use these English words right here. Skimming the milk off the top. They'll use these phrases on purpose because it's a Kabbalah. They're all Kabbalists. That's why we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against spiritual things. That's what these people are doing, is spiritual things. Shapat. Because this has to do with my name too. But I don't want to go through all of it because I'm going to make a different episode. So it has to do with snake. I fought with a snake. Let's just say that. And what is a snake? So it has to do with snake too. It has to do with all this. It's insane. You guys have to read it though, because for time's sake. So when I'm done with this, I'm gonna stop it and make another one at 3:30. Small clusters roots here. Pass on or pass by, or to advance, to go forward. It's a military operation. Meaning advancing time, the quickening of time, to bring to an end. Those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Oh man. To ornament oneself or someone else. Let me see here. do with reckon or number. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast. It is a human number. His number is 666. Anyway, I played that horribly, but those who know. So why is that word in that song? Because it's in Revelation. Reckon the number of the beast. Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows his time is coming to an end. His time is short. Let him who hath understanding. No, not pointing right. Let him who hath understanding. Understanding. Reckon the number of the beast. The multitude or the number. So recognize who they are. Recognize their pattern. Ya'ad means to appoint. Let's see. Appointed time. Wow. Time, and half a time. Wow. This is just insane. Appointed time, like a race. That's why it has to do with speed. All the need for speed. You can probably Hebraize need, and then literally the speed. So need for speed. Testimony or yeah, this stuff I'm going to be going over in an episode about my name, but also about the word, the Hebrew words kara and ana, and there's a derivation ona. I'm not going to lay that one out for reasons. Okay, that was it actually. This next one, well, I'm going to keep it right here and keep this set up. Let me hide it. Window capture. All right, guys. So maybe I'll play for a minute. It's kind of hot in here, though, so I'm gonna enjoy a break. What was I thinking of? I was trying to play Prune the Bell Tolls. All right, it's getting hot in here, so Baruch Hashem Yehaval Shaddai. Baruch Hamashiach Yeshua. Okay, I'm all over the place. I gotta put the music on here. It's the music. Ooh, spooky.